Alright, Lanta, so Brave Soul's next banner is releasing in less than 12 hours time, featuring a new Sunflower Mayuri, a zombie Toshiro, and also zombie Rangiku. And we're here to ask the question, are these characters worth summoning for? And in my opinion, no. This is one of the few end of month banners that I feel like most of us should skip, and I feel like most of us have already decided whether you are summoning or not. And I'll preface right from the get-go too. If you are a massive fan of Mayuri, if you are a massive fan of Toshiro, if you are a massive fan of Rangiku, summon. Don't care what anyone else has to say. The characters themselves are all good. We're going to talk about them individually. All three characters are good. They also look to be like a lot of fun. Honestly, I'm quite impressed with all three of them. It's just that from a meta standpoint, especially if you care about Guild Quest or Limit Breaker, none of these characters, besides Rangiku to be fair, are going to make that much of a difference if you already have the currently existing characters. And you know what? In normal circumstances, that wouldn't even be that big of a deal. But as we are so close to the anniversary, I feel like right now, if you care about the anniversary and want to summon for, you know, potentially the new best character in the game, very exciting characters from Season 3 of 1000 Year Blood War, then honestly the worst thing you can do right now in Brave Souls is go deep on this banner. Unless, again, you're massive fans of these three characters. If you are, then again, you gotta do what you gotta do. We already spoke about it earlier today, but we also do have confirmation that there will be an upcoming live stream for June mid-month, giving us even more reasons to skip this banner, because in less than 2 weeks' time, the second this banner leaves, June 15th, so a tad bit over 2 weeks to be fair, there is going to be a big banner that will probably gap this banner in terms of excitement. Now, I'm just one person, but I have 5,000 orbs, so I can afford to summon on this end of month if I really want to. And thus far, in the year 2025, I've been pulling on every single end of month, and have done a pretty good job, to be fair, really only missing Apache. But this is going to be the first end of month banner that I outright skip. I will be doing 2 discounted steps, hopefully get lucky, but if I don't, I will save it for those characters later on. Maybe wait for them to become a filler in around 8 months' time, making a future 1000 Year Blood War banner even better. So in my opinion, if I'm skipping the banner, I feel like most people should do if you care about Brave Souls meta, I guess. But if we do have a closer look at each individual character, first up we have Zombie Toshiro. He's going to be the headliner of the banner, and probably one of the more fun units in my opinion. I think he actually looks really cool, and again, it's kind of a shame the banner is releasing now, because I would like to summon for these units. If you're a massive Toshiro fan, you're getting another good character. In terms of what this character does offer is that he does have 3 very powerful strong attacks, and then also an additional EX attack. All of his attacks have a very high chance to inflict freeze thanks to his increased Thousand chance, at least when you are up against hollows. Of course, damage output's also going to be pretty good here, as he does have Frenzy +2, a 50% strong attack damage increase, an additional 20% strong attack damage increase that you can give to speed characters. He's also going to be a pretty good soul trait, offering recharge and also strong attack damage. And Toshiro's also bringing back quite the rare skill, that being Soul Reaper Resonance. And what this does mean is that any strong attack character in your team or your co-op lobby is offering 20% more strong attack damage. Is offering 10% more strong attack damage for this character. This also does count for himself, by the way. So in Guild Quest content, in Limit Breaker content, in just general PvE content like Point Event as well, right? Any quest where you can bring a team of 3, if you bring 3 Soul Reapers, including Toshiro, you're getting 30% more strong attack damage. So his damage output's quite good, especially with the fact that he also does have 80% more damage to frozen enemies. Overall, what you're getting with this Toshiro is just a very strong unit. Not the strongest unit out there, but a good unit nonetheless, especially again, once more, if you are a Toshiro fan. But since Toshiro is a ranged hollow killer, by default, especially when it comes to Guild Quest content, and even Limit Breaker content to be fair, because a lot of people just opt in to use Grammy, I'm doing that myself, right? Is that, you know, by default, he's going to be compared now to one of the best characters in the entire game. Even though Toshiro is releasing almost a year later, Grammy is an anniversary unit. They're designed to stay relevant for a long time, whereas Toshiro is just a normal end of month unit. And in terms of scores, right, what we are seeing here, for those that are curious, is that at 1 out of 5, Gremmy's better. In any situation, Grammy will be the better character if they have the same Transcendence investment. And that's also something to keep in mind too. Grammy is a premium unit. You can get him from summer tickets, and if you plan to summon on the 10th anniversary, which of course I would recommend, Grammy will be there. So likely, even if you only have Grammy 1 out of 5 right now, especially level 1, in the future, you could get him max transcended. And you're likely going to get him max transcended way before you even get duplicates or even get this particular Toshiro. Keep in mind though, Toshiro does have potential in the Ranged Hollow Guild Quest. You can see right now that the damage numbers, Gremmy's only slightly a tad bit better than Toshiro, at least as of right now until we can test them tomorrow. Keep in mind, this is without Toshiro getting any damage buffs. Grammy as a character can only get 20% more strong attack damage from the Mugetsu soul trait, whereas Toshiro can get buffs from like Tenjiro or something like that, right? So with that in mind, the main thing to take away from Toshiro is that while he might not be better than Grammy in Guild Quest, he's going to be a good character for the Guild Quest phase regardless. And to be fair, because he does have Status Element Plus, where he can inflict Freeze Plus, you can probably just use both and get like an even better score. And that's something that we're going to kind of see with another character in this banner, is that they just make for an additional unit. It's unfortunate as it is, but the Ranged Hollow Guild Quest, I think, did need a new character. Even though Grammy has it covered, and he's going to have it covered for quite the long time, they also haven't received a new Ranged Hollow Killer in quite some time, since Grammy essentially. And remember, keep in mind, we'll talk about the character in a second, Toshiro does get a lot better with the other available characters. Right now, the two best normal attack damage characters for this Guild Quest phase is the new Rangiku and also Shunsui, both Soribas. So with that in mind, you can get an additional 20% strong attack damage using those two NAD characters. Rangiku will be increasing his damage output by 30% due to the one skill that she does have. So, there is potential with a character like Toshiro. But at the same time, if you only care about clearing guild quests, then Grammy's good enough. Unless you're in an S-League guild that wants to get the best of the best scores, you can honestly go without Toshiro. Because as long as you have Grammy, you're likely going to clear it. If anything, Rangiku will have a bigger impact on your account, in my opinion. So let's actually talk about it, right? So I'm actually the most excited for this unit right here. I think, unironically, this character might have the best stuff going for him, despite being a normal attack damage character. But why exactly is that? Well, one of the unique things about this unit is that she has the same soul trait as Mugetsu, a soul trait that we use all the time for Guild Quest content. 20% strong attack damage, but she offers it as normal attack damage. Keep in mind, it does say strong attack damage. I think Soldix had a typo here, but it is normal attack damage. Keep that in mind, at 25%. So once more, in Guild Quest teams, if you are bringing a character that serves the purpose as a team booster, maybe just there to boost your two other characters, where you can throw in the Rangiku link, you can throw in the Mugetsu link, and both your normal attack damage character and strong attack damage character are getting 20% more damage. So this soul trait is going to be very, very useful. Likely we're not going to see it all that much because, we've only gotten one Mugetsu soul trait and it's taken us almost a year later to get another similar one for normal attack damage characters. Other than that though, Rangiku is going to be a normal attack damage character for the Ranged Hollow Guild Quest. With that, she does do 40% more damage to hollow enemies. She does have the usual Guild Quest skills, Flurry +1, 2 in Guild Quests, more range effects, more killer effect that gets increased in Guild Quests, but I really do like what Rangiku offers here, as she does have some other good stuff about her. For starters, she does have an increased status on chance to hollows, where she can inflict lacerate. That will stop the enemies from being able to attack, which I think is also pretty cool. Her barrier SA2 provides protection for your team. For most of us, we might not need that, but if you are struggling to clear the quest, Rangiku is going to be really good for survivability. She was also given the follow-up skill, and what this does mean is that when an enemy gets knocked over, Rangiku can still hit them with their normal attack. I think this is a must-have skill for every normal attack damage character. I've been wanting it to return for so long, and finally we are seeing it with Rangiku, and in my opinion, that's going to make her a bit better in and outside of Guild Quest. But again, like we already mentioned, right, this character has two particular buffs here. She also has Soul Reaper Resonance, so if you're using Toshiro and also Shunsui once more, you're getting 10% more strong attack damage per character, so 30% additional normal attack damage. She also has a team party buff to Soribas, more so again to buff Toshiro, where you're offering 30% more damage to any enemy that is inflicted with a status omen, either from her or Toshiro, because they both have status omen plus. So I feel like Rangiku is going to have the bigger impact on this Guild Quest phase, given that the alternative normal attack damage characters are Shunsui, who's still relatively decent, and then just super old characters. No one really competes with Rangiku's damage output. Shunsui is still important though because he is the team booster. That's something that Rangiku does lack, but she does also offer some pretty good buffs. So, if you do summon on this banner and you do get Rangiku, you own Shunsui, and then you get Toshiro, you can make a really good team that might even be able to potentially rival 9th Anniversary Grammy if you care about your scores in Guild Quest. Like I said, if you care about just clearing it, well, Grammy and what you potentially have already, Shunsui, maybe even Shuhei, honestly, it might just be good enough. So what you have here in this banner is just two good characters that support each other, which I think is kind of cool because they're both the same attribute and also killer. But it is for a guild quest phase that, again, maybe doesn't need it, which again makes it more reason to skip this banner. And then lastly, we have Mayuri. So Mayuri is going to be a guild quest character for the immediate Squad 0 guild quests. And with that in mind, this character is all about inflicting paralysis. If we have a look at his damage numbers here, what you are going to see is Frenzy +2, which gets increased to Frenzy 3 in guild quests. He has more cure effect, which gets further increased in guild quests. More melee damage that gets further increased in guild quests, obviously. Upon inflicting a status element, which he does have an increased chance to do so against Soripers, he will then get an 80% spiritual pressure boost. And remember, this character can inflict paralysis plus on every attack with a trap effect SA3, almost guaranteeing you to inflict a status element once you do use that attack. When you do inflict paralysis, you are then doing 80% more damage, which obviously is going to be pretty good. Other than that though, he's a pretty simple character. He's just going to be really good as a lead or a side in the immediate Squad 0 guild quests. He also has a really good strong attack kit and some great visuals in my opinion. I'm actually very excited for this character, and honestly a character I want to pull, not because I need him, just because I want him. He looks to be a super fun unit, despite again being designed mainly for guild quest content. And when it comes to guild quest content, in particular the immediate Squad 0 guild quest, you will see here that he is the best lead. He is going to be the best lead, but not by much. Kind of similar to Grammy being better than Toshiro. Right now, Mayuri is going to be the better lead if you have Rukia at 1 out of 5. Or if you don't have Rukia, Mayuri might be a bit more sought after. But if you are someone that has duplicates into Rukia, then that gives you less reason to pull for Mayuri, especially if your main goal is just to clear and don't care about a good score. At the same time, though, what likely is going to happen here is that because Mayuri has status element plus, paralysis plus, you can use both Rukia and Mayuri in the same team. And both of them are going to be able to inflict status elements more consistently too, and no one is going to take a spiritual pressure boost away from another character. If Mayuri inflicts his paralysis, well, Rukia is going to still be able to inflict drain and also freeze. Most importantly, Rukia does have a team boost SA2, providing stats to Mayuri, so there's potential synergy with these two units. And that's something that you're really only going to do if you have both. But again, if you have Rukia, you can kind of go about Rukia. That's personally what I'm doing. And, you know, the mini Squad 0 guild quest itself isn't really that difficult if you do it on Rukia, because a character like Shunsui also exists too. So if you know you can already beat the mini Squad 0 guild quest, gives you less reason right now to summon for Mayuri. But if you do pull him, he'll be a really good lead and pairs very well potentially with Rukia and also Shunsui. So yeah, 3 pretty cool characters that I'm perfectly fine with getting later on. For me though, in terms of a priority, like if I was to summon on this banner, Rangiku for me seems the most impressive. She will be the character that has a bigger impact on my account, because she is fulfilling a role that basically no one can do, a normal attack damage soul trait for every character in your team. And we also haven't gotten a really good ranged hollow normal attack damage character in quite some time. Toshiro should be a really fun unit in general. I can see myself using this character a lot. He is going to be good in the upcoming Limit Breaker quest and also, again, Ranged Hollow Guild quest, but I also own a Max Transcended Gremmy, so I'm perfectly fine with skipping out on this character, because I'm sure even though Gremmy will have attribute disadvantage in those upcoming content, I think I will still clear faster with that character than Toshiro. And the Mayuri, again, really want him because he looks to be a fun unit, but Mayuri isn't going to improve my guild quest times all that much to warrant me to summon right now before the anniversary that is happening in July. I know personally that the swimsuit banner that will be happening in June end of month likely is going to bait me in summoning. It usually always happens, and I also want to make sure I've opted for June mid-month because we know we are getting an exciting banner. So with that in mind, like always, summon if you want them, but you definitely don't need to summon this time around. I don't think any character, maybe besides Rangiku, if you're a guild quest head, is a must summon, but even then, you can always get them later. Remember, the more 1000G Blood banners that you do skip, the better future 1000G Blood banners get in the future, because these characters will eventually become filler, and we are seeing characters like this become filler sooner than later, around 8-7 months, even for end of month units nowadays. One thing that doesn't help too is that the filler pool itself isn't really the greatest. It's nice that Shinji and also Kensei are featured here, but any other character you do see here, Yama, Yuha, Kyoge, and also Rangiku, they're decent characters, but they're characters you're going to see quite a lot in future Blood War banners as fillers anyway. So due to the filler pool, due to the characters not being super needed, yeah, it's quite the easy skip. But how many times have I said that in this video? Either way though, I'll be summoning tomorrow on my alt account. I'll be doing a few steps just to see if I can get one of them. My main account again is only going to do 2 discounted steps, and all my orbs are being saved for June mid-month, and I recommend you guys do the same thing too. In the comments below though, let me know if you plan to summon on this banner, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.